Hello, welcome to Autonics Automation India Private Limited. Today we are going to learn the settings for CT series counter. First, press MD button for 3 seconds. In parameter group A, you will find the first option in group 1. Then single press MD button. First option will be C-T. In that you can select either counter mode or timer mode by up down arrow keys. So first I will keep in count mode, then single press MD button. Then comes the option for input. In input mode, basically there are up mode, down mode and up down mode. Up down only for incrementing, down mode only for decrementing, and UDC mode for up down counting. So we will keep in up mode. Then single press MD button. Next option is the output mode. In output mode there are basically two settings. One is the F mode. If you want to continue the counting without resetting the output, then kindly keep in F mode. Then comes the C mode. If you want to auto reset the count, auto reset the output, kindly keep it in C mode. Then single press MD button. Next comes is the CPS. This is counts per second. Depending upon the revolution speed, we have to keep this count per second. This is 30 CPS, 1 kCPS, 5 kCPS, 10 kCPS and 1 CPS. Then comes the output time. For how much time we can hold the output, we can set that value here in seconds. This is in seconds. Then again single press MD button. Then comes the DP. This is decimal point. We can change the decimal point as per our requirement by up down arrow keys. Then again single press MD button. Then comes the reset. By default it will be 1. Keep it as it is. Then comes the signal. Check what is your signal input, whether it is NPN or PNP. Depending upon that, you can change the switch settings inside the counter, and you can change the input type. Then again single press MD button. Then comes the SCDP. This is the scaling point, the scaling value decimal point. For this you have to set the decimal point. You can shift the decimal point by up down arrow keys. Then again single press MD button. This is the scale value, the scaling value which we get after the calculation. For example, there is a length cutting application. For length cutting application, depending upon the input, for example the input is the encoder. So the encoder, the scale value we get by the circumference of the wheel to which the encoder is mounted divided by the PPR. Whatever scale value we get, that we have to put in the SCL value. So we can change the digits, we can shift the digits, and we can change the values by up down arrow keys. Then again single press MD button. Then comes the start point. We can change the start point. We can keep it as 1, 2, any. By default it will be 0, so keep it as it is. Then press MD button, single press MD button. Next comes the data. There are two options. One is the record mode and another one is the clear mode. In clear mode, whatever value is there after the power off, and once the power comes on, then the value will not restore. It will start from 0. It will start from initial position. And the record mode will hold the value. It will retain the value when the power comes on. Then again single press MD button. This is next is the lock function. we can give some authorities, we can give some lock function, enable, disable the keys which are given on the counter panel. Like if we set lock 1, we can disable the more buttons. If we keep lock 2, we can disable these arrow buttons. So like this we can disable the buttons of the counter panel. Then again press. Okay, now you have to come out of the parameter settings. So press MD button for 3 seconds.
Run mode.
And you will come in run mode. Now you have to go in group 2. So press MD button for 3 seconds. And then press up arrow key, group 2, and then again single press MD button. In group 2 all the communication parameters are there. Now first option is address. You can set the address value by up down arrow keys. Then comes the BPS. This is the baud rate. You can set the baud rate as per our requirement, as per the controller's requirement. Then comes the parity. It is null, even, odd. Then comes the stop bit, either 1 or 2. Then comes the reset. Then comes the communication. It is we can disable or enable by up down arrow keys. Then press MD button for 3 seconds and come out of the parameter settings. Then again press MD button for 3 seconds. Now if you want to go in timer settings, then again single press MD button. Then first option will be C-T. By up down arrow keys we can change the counter mode to timer mode. Then single press MD button. First option will be hours, minutes, seconds settings. How we want to display the timer mode, we can change from up down arrow keys, whether we want in seconds, whether we want in hours, whether we want in hours, minutes. So now we will keep in seconds. Now again press MD button. In this we can set whether we want up, whether we want the timer which will increment or decrement. So we have to keep in increment. Then again press single press MD button. Next option will be the output mode. How we want the output mode, like example whether we want on delay or off delay, flicker mode. So various modes are there. Depending upon those modes we can select our mode referring to our catalog. Then comes the MD, then again single press MD button. Then comes the output time. Here we can set the output time in seconds, that is for how much time we can hold the output. Then again press single press, we will get the input option like NPN or PNP. So depending upon the switch settings we can do the we can select the input option. Then again single press MD button, and again single press MD button. Next comes the lock function. We can disable or enable the keys on the counter panel through this lock function. Then again press MD button for 3 seconds and come out of the parameter settings in the run mode. Thank you.